Terry Hayes presenta El año de la langosta, un thriller político implacable 10 años después del éxito internacional Soy Pilgrim, que cautivó a millones de lectores en todo el mundo. Esta extraordinaria novela de aventuras es la mezcla perfecta entre John le Carré y las series Homeland y The Last of Us. Un rompecabezas geopolítico impecable, adictivo y muy cinematográfico que transporta al lector de Washington a Irán, pasando por Rusia o Nueva York, siempre de la mano de Kane, un espía de la CIA especializado en misiones en zonas de acceso restringido. Periodista de investigación, corresponsal político y guionista de películas como Mad Max, Terry Hayes se ha convertido en el máximo referente del thriller político.
Well, I hope they find a thrilling adventure story. It is basically a spy story, but I think it's something beyond that. I think it's really an adventure story about one man's journey very much into the heart of darkness. And of course, as is often with books like this, the stakes are huge. If he fails, then the world is going to be devastated. So most of all, though, I hope people get from it the urge to keep turning the pages. That was my ambition. Yes, it certainly was the most ambitious. There were plenty of times when I was writing it when I thought, what was I thinking? Like, this is crazy. To try to tell such an epic story. But you know, you get disheartened at times when you can't solve problems, and then you go to bed and sooner or later you wake up and you think, oh, I know how to do that. That's a marvelous feeling. But yes, it's very, very ambitious, and not many novelists work in that field anymore. It takes a long time to do, and you know, the publishing industry as a general rule likes shorter books, so it was, you know, very confronting in many ways. But the other stories I like reading, so the other stories I like telling. No, I was an investigative reporter for quite a number of years. I was a political correspondent. I was a columnist as quite a young man, and I learnt many skills. I learnt how to research. I learnt how to find stuff. And of course, the internet. None of my books would exist without the internet. Otherwise, I'd be living in the reading room of the British Library with stacks of books around me, researching the most ordinary facts that I don't know. I've met special forces, American special forces guys. I've met people who've worked in the intelligence world, and they tell you stuff, not specific things about their missions. They're not allowed to do that, nor would they. They don't know what they're going to endanger. But for example, say in Locust, it says that the Starbucks at CIA headquarters at Langley is the busiest Starbucks in the world. And I believe that to be true. And that was mentioned to me by somebody I was talking to, and I thought, wow, that's great. They're all high on coffee. The whole of the CIA is high on coffee the whole time. No wonder it's such a crazy place. Well, the great thing about the CIA is you can say anything you like about them, because people will believe most of it. If the CIA says, no, that's not true, the whole of the public at large says, wow, that must be right. If the CIA are denying this, he must have got that right. So people are willing to believe that they're capable of doing, just very, very bad things. So that's useful. They're also, because they're secretive, I think a lot of readers are very happy to see the curtain drawn back and allowed to look inside how it actually works. I was working as the New York correspondent for a group of very prestigious Australian newspapers, and they wanted to do a story about Australia's involvement in the Vietnam War. And so I was tasked with the job of researching and writing about the CIA's involvement in dragging Australia into that godforsaken war. So I got interested in it, but that's a good example of the CIA's tentacles reaching all the way across the Pacific to a relatively small country, but which became important to America's strategic interests.